Fake versus real.
Can you see the difference? Well, on this one you can, because it doesn't actually fit the iPhone. It's got this weird thing. But between these two products, can you tell which one's real and which one's fake?
For the rest of this video, we're gonna compare fake and real Apple silicone and clear cases and tell you what to look out for when it comes to the fake ones.
So these silicone ones, the knockoffs, they're tight. These clear cases, absolute Gong Show. So we're gonna talk about the silicone cases first, then we're gonna talk about the Gong Show, and then Monty's gonna do a teardown, which ended up with this thing.
Roll the review.
Now, just to be clear, we're not married. This isn't our house, it's our studio. This channel is my business, and the government said you gotta wear a mask indoors. I'm following the rules. This is what it is. So at the beginning of November 2020, last year, I went and bought almost a dozen MagSafe cases from unique vendors from AliExpress. Most of these products cost between $10 and $15. One of these cost $3. Now I will note that I paid for expedited shipping, which meant at that time it was going to get to me in 14 days, but most of these showed up between 15 days and 60 days. And that time frame was about the same as if I was to pay for normal shipping. So anyways, let's start off with cases that could pull off being actual real products, but aren't. Well, except for this thing. This thing's terrible. So how about the differences between the real and fake silicone products? Well, in most cases, the fake ones were pretty darn close to the real thing. As for this green aberration, just so terrible. Again, I bought every single case that had Mag Case in the title without really paying attention to it, so technically it was correct. I did buy a MagSafe product, but this green thing just barely fits the iPhone. It doesn't actually have any magnets, and it has this weird finger loop thing. But, you know, what can I say? It was $3. Now, on the first pass with these products, every one of these fake ones came with an authentic looking Apple box, except for this green thing. The cases even sat in similar packaging on the inside of the box. Most of them came even with the medical device warning sheet. When we looked at the UPC codes, only one product was actually misidentified. This dark purple case actually has the UPC code for an iPhone 11 product. That's the first red flag that I saw. Now, out of the box, every product other than the green one looks like an Apple silicone case. If we take a closer look though, certain faults do show up. The purple case has a highly visible seam right in the middle of the case. No other product has that. If we look at the inside of the case, we can definitely start seeing the differences between the real and fake products. First of all, the microfiber lining on the real case looks quite dense. It looks, I'll say, more luxurious. The other cases just looks cheap and thin. That's the only way I can describe it. If you look at the fit between the silicone case and the microfiber, you'll notice that the real case has a much better finish. There aren't any folds in the corners, and the seams between the microfiber and silicone parts are fairly minimal. That's the second red flag that popped up for us. Also, the magnets on the inside of the cases are way more pronounced on the fake ones than the real ones, and that's, well, we'll elaborate on that with the protection portion. The last thing I'll mention about the microfiber is that on this purple case, it kind of loses color, which is, you know, great. Now, the user experience with the fake cases is going to be quite similar as they all fit the iPhone well. The screen access is about the same and the buttons generally work. Other than the purple case, if I was to give you an iPhone with the rest of these cases, you probably wouldn't know that they were fake.
Out of these 5 cases, only one is recognized by the iPhone as a MagSafe accessory, and well, it's the real product. This product red knockoff, despite being labeled as MagSafe, doesn't have any magnets in it. That's the third red flag.
Now, if we take a closer look at the magnets in the actual fake cases, they aren't as strong as the official Apple case. It takes around 10 newtons to push the card off the case, whereas all the other products took about 7 to 8.5 newtons. Oddly enough, the actual MagSafe charger comes off at about the same value, so I'm guessing the off-circle magnets on the fake cases are weaker. When it comes to protection, the fake cases are about 30% thinner than the Apple case. The real cases clock in at about 1.8 millimeters, whereas the fake are around 1.3. The easiest way to see the difference in terms of thickness is just to hold the lighter colored case up to the light. You can definitely see the ring of magnets on the fake cases. So less material results in less shock absorption, which means your iPhone's going to incur more damage over time with the fake cases. Now, one of the odd things that we discovered comes with the scratch resistance of the products. The real cases scratched way easier than the fake ones. Why? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. So what's the easiest way to spot a fake case? Well, if there's something growing on the back of the case, then it's fake. But other than that, I would go with the third red flag, which is whether or not your Apple device will recognize the MagSafe product. This one does not. So before we move on to the clear cases, I am kind of curious to know what you guys want to see in terms of fake versus real Apple products. I've already done one for the elastomer watch bands, so do check that out. They'll be in the comment section below. But what other products do you want me to see? Leave them down there in the comment section below. Also, if you like what Monty is doing here at MobileReviewsEh, give this video a thumbs up, or if you want to take it even further, support us on Patreon. Absolute gong shows. Honestly, it's a world of difference when it comes to fake products. Fake silicone, pretty close. Fake clear cases, oh my gosh. It looks like these manufacturers basically went through a dumpster, found a bunch of clear cases, and slapped a bunch of magnets on them. At least the fake silicone case manufacturers attempted to make the products look like the originals. The clear case ones are just, they just didn't try. Basically, the biggest tell for a fake clear case is gonna be all the extras on the case. If it doesn't look like a smooth, transparent river rock, it's not a real Apple product. The Apple clear case is very rigid. It feels like solid plastic, but every fake case here has a TPU edge and a polycarbonate back. The edges of these cases are also slightly different as well. One has oversized corners, another one has 4 corner air pockets, others have 1 or 3. Some have a dot pattern to minimize rainbowing, while others don't. Oddly enough, the Apple clear case doesn't. The one thing that the fake clear cases got right are the buttons, which are terrible to use. So, you know, the buttons on the Apple clear case are terrible too. Honestly, button access on every one of these products was absolutely terrible. They were either too mushy or they were too tough. None of these manufacturers actually took the effort to like shave it down or to get it right. So that's insulting given that they all cost $15. Now I could almost give a pass to the Apple clear case because the edges are very, very rigid, and usually when the case edges are rigid, the buttons are terrible. But this case looks like it's a solid piece, but there is no transitional seam between the really hard part and the really soft part. So I do have to give props to Apple for figuring out how to do that. Regardless, this is a terrible case. It's not good, but hey, this part's kind of cool. Now, when it comes to using Apple's newest, fanciest feature, MagSafe, there's magnets on all the cases, which is something I can't say for the silicone ones, but none of them, like all the silicone ones, register on the iPhone as a MagSafe product. This is one of the biggest tells for fake products from my perspective.
Well, actually, the best way to tell is that the real ones have branded the inside of the case, whereas the fake ones don't.
Now, one of the things that we did notice is that the MagSafe wallet was way harder to take off the knockoff products than it was the actual clear case. But here's the kicker: between Apple's own silicone and clear case, one definitely works better with the wallet than the other. On the Apple clear case, it took about 6 newtons to push the wallet off. One of the fakes took almost 15, while the others took around 8 to 10. Now, when it comes to protection, I'd actually think the fake cases might be better than the Apple case. Why? Because most of the fake cases have air pockets in the TPU edges. So when you do drop it, it doesn't sound terrible. It sounds like the case is actually absorbing some of the shock from the impact. Regardless, I have no confidence in any of these products when it comes to drops around 3 to 4 feet. Every once in a while, maybe, but not on a daily basis. All right, Monty, let's go cut some of these cases open, shan't we? Stop the word. Can I use it in that manner? Shan't we? Now, Apple is very specific in their guidelines for their MagSafe magnets. In their accessory guideline, Apple calls for very specific materials, coatings, dimensions, as well as flux capacitors. I know what I said. I'm joking. Now, when we took apart our first real MagSafe case several months ago, I was surprised at how hard it was to take the microfiber inset off the case. Now, on these fake cases, it was the exact opposite. It was really easy. It just peeled right off. Now, the magnets in the real case were glued in very tightly through a bunch of adhesive, but the fake cases basically just had a clear plastic cover on them. You just kind of peeled it off and the magnets just came out. At this point in time, I realized that the magnets on the real Apple case actually sit closer to the iPhone, as there's only microfiber between the device and those magnets, and a bit of adhesive. So the setup is almost backwards. On the real iPhone cases, you get a lot more thickness between the back of the case and the magnets, whereas not so much with these fake ones. There's still a tiny layer of plastic between the silicone finish and the magnets, but not as much as the real Apple cases, which, you know, this case is what, 0.5 millimeter thinner? So yeah, there we have it. Now, another odd thing that I noticed was the lack of a copper wiring or the RFID tag or whatever that thing is that we found on the real case. That's probably why they don't register as real MagSafe products. The last thing worth noting are the thicknesses of the magnets. The fake magnets are just a hair thinner than the real ones. Other than that, the dimensions are almost identical from what we can tell. So that's the difference between fake and real iPhone silicone cases. I'm not going to even touch the clear cases because just such a Gong Show. Anyways, first time watching my videos, Monty wants you to subscribe. Also, again, if you want us to do more real fake videos, let us know which accessories we should take a look at. That's kind of all I got. Thanks for watching. Say bye, Monty. No, the video didn't freeze.